can try and show you how this works. Let's see if this works right here. So what I have to do is I have to stop him from going out. No. I got to reach out, grab his leash, close the door, get his leash on. Can't really hold the camera. Why don't you look at the temperature this morning with the thermometer that works, and nice peaceful morning, and out the front window it looks like a snow sky, doesn't it? Something's gonna happen. Let's get these animals rustled and get out the door. So now I got Rex's leash on and Steve's leash on. Steve, this is the door. T-Rex, go slow. No. Okay, go ahead. All right, go ahead. So I start myself off with a huge challenge just getting out the door. Not to mention, I've been studying weather now for more than 3 hours, and there's more weather than I've ever seen in my life at one time across North America, the Pacific Ocean, and the Atlantic Ocean. So stay calm and try and take your time. Oh yeah, we got a full ice bucket. Will this be completely water tomorrow morning? Probably not. Excuse us, T-Rex. Sorry. So much to start with. This morning, sunrise, just incredible. Dave Hayes in Western Massachusetts solicited sunrise images, and they did not disappoint. I mean, I couldn't possibly show you all of them, but this one from Deerfield, beautiful. Red sky and morning, everyone's been saying it. Sailor, take warning. So fun. Steve just loves playing in the snow, so doesn't T-Rex. So there's somebody walking down there on the beach. Last night somebody went swimming down there on the beach. That'll be in our and more. Meantime, let's continue on. It's very frosty outside of the snow. And so many snow lovers in the world are so lamenting what's about to happen. Nobody more than Pilot Pete in Lancaster, Massachusetts. Beautiful scenes. Pilot Pete this morning sharing, and also sharing some consternation. He says it's so beautiful right now, and it's going up to what, like 70 degrees tonight, and all the snow is going to be gone. I want to fill in the Atlantic Ocean with cement so we don't get this heating coming in off the ocean anymore. Yeah, we all have issues, Peter. You're not alone. Many of us that love snow are lamenting. So we might as well just try and go as slowly as we can today and know that it will snow again someday, but not really in the near future. Or will it? Yes, it is going to snow in the near future. It's already snowing in Pennsylvania. And let's go to the HRRR. It's the High Resolution Rapid Refresh Model, and it goes hour by hour. And by 20 minus 5 is 15, minus 12 is 3 o'clock. It's snowing in Vermont. Blue is snow, green is rain. So we get a few hours of snow even in northern Massachusetts at your house, Pilot Pete. And then that rain snow line slowly creeps up, first into the Champlain Valley in northwestern Vermont, and only up to about Mount Washington and just north of Sunday River tonight. And early tomorrow morning, it's shutting off. So the worst of the weather is going to happen really fast. All that heavy rain in southern New England is going to happen between sunset and sunrise. Oh yeah, and wind. And what about snow? Well, first of all, let's go and add up all that rain. Might as well do that now. QPF, it's called the Quantitative Precipitation Forecast. And there it is. So if it were all rain, it would be 1 to 2 inches or 3 in northern New England, and it would be 2 to 4 or more in southern New England, southwestern Connecticut. Supposedly may get more than 4 inches, and the temperature is going to jump to 50, but this is no repeat of what happened on December 18th. December 18th, by the way, it was about a 983 low and a 1045 high, so there was about a 62 millibar pressure gradient. This one, 979 low, that's deeper, but it's a 1030 high, so that's not as strong a high. So we had a wind gust to 90 miles per hour on Blue Hill on December 18th. That was just 3 weeks ago yesterday with that massive flood. And Matt Douglas, who was there and is there again today, speculates that today we may get a wind gust, or tonight really, to 70 miles per hour on Blue Hill. The difference being this air is coming more from the southeast in this storm, not due south. And there's going to be more of a sort of inversion thing to deal with. That is, the colder air is heavier and the warmer light air may want to go over the top of it. All right, so that's tonight's storm. I didn't even get to what's going on in the southern United States this morning. There were tornadoes in the Florida Panhandle, and there were pre-dawn videos of the tornadoes going through. And there was an aerial assessment by Weather Nation that they put on a drone video this morning. So just terrible squall line, tremendous amounts of lightning. Consider that energy in the southeastern United States. That's the south end of our storm. And the west end of our storm yesterday in the Central Plains, it was about 5 or 6 inches of snow, but the wind was sustained 40 to 60 miles per hour. So it doesn't take a lot of snow to make scenes like this. I would love to remember to credit everybody with all these videos. Mark Sudduth, yeah. I can credit Mark for, I think, one in Dodge City yesterday, where I looked it up and there was about 4 or 5 inches of snow. So that is the storm that's coming through today. But much like last week, it is a parade of giant serpentines from the eastern Atlantic across North America into the Pacific. And if we go to the Pacific Northwest, Seattle weather guy Mike Snyder, he's been doing weather here for a couple of decades. He says that what's going to happen tonight in the Cascades of Washington and Oregon is going to be historic. Shall we go interrupt T-Rex because he's interrupting us? Oh, he's quiet now. That's more like it. He was tracking the rabbits. That Pacific Northwest storm is something we're going to have to watch too, but it's not simple at all. So he says that the gradient up there with the bomb cyclone coming into British Columbia is going to produce a rare blizzard in the Cascades of Washington and Oregon. So you can see here, looking at the map, the national map of advisories, watches, and warnings, that tan color, that's a massive wind advisory in effect from the Gulf of Mexico to New England. The purple over the water, that's a storm warning, wind gusts past 50 miles an hour from the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of Maine. We got a winter weather advisories and warnings in northern Maine and also much of the Central Plains. And then there's a little gap in the middle of the country where there are no watches and warnings. And then the other storm is in the upper left. And that's the one that Mike Schneider is talking about coming into the northwestern United States. So can we watch all of this in one single loop of the Euro from pivotalweather.com? I don't think we can catch it all in one, so I'm going to have to show it a couple of times. First of all, here comes our storm, down to about 979 or so into the Great Lakes tonight with that rain-snow line coming through here and all those isobars. That's the wind. And then tomorrow morning, the worst is over. It may actually be calm in northern Vermont before it starts getting windy from the west. And some tomorrow, the sky is going to fill with a lot of clouds and some snow showers or rain showers. T-Rex, please. He's going in. I gotta concentrate, Rex. Yeah. All kinds of tiny prints around here. That's what he's barking at. Yep. Sorry. Did I mention an eagle flew right over my flagpole yesterday? I had it actually on my webcam a little bit, but barely made it out. This thermometer works. People saying, weatherman has broken thermometer. There it is. It's freezing, 0 degrees Celsius. And I will get the ice out of my rain gauge. Oh yeah, we were talking about coast-to-coast storms. That's right. Sorry. Watch the upper left, starting over. The storm coming into the Pacific Northwest. If you look carefully, part of that breaks off and races across southern Canada and then kind of dwindles to just a little trough coming across northern New England Thursday night into Friday. Wow, that's moving fast. But the other part of it, lower left, is digging down through the Rockies and then tapping the Gulf of Mexico. And in an amazing deja vu, is going to do the same thing that today's storm is doing. Plains blizzard, southeastern United States severe weather, and then here it goes into the Midwest, and we have to deal with almost the same situation as tonight, with wind and rain and snow. And there's a chance that each of these will be all snow, for the most part, 95%, from Mount Washington through Maine into southeastern Canada. But there's a pretty good chance it's going to be mostly rain south of Route 2 in Massachusetts, right up to your house, Pete. Sorry. And then cold air, mostly focused in the middle of the nation, is going to dig south, and the Euro model has another storm coming up from the Gulf of Mexico across southern New England, 970 something. Oh my goodness. Next Tuesday. The other guidance does not have that Tuesday into Wednesday. They have more of an Arctic front. I would lean towards more of a storm, because usually, and this is very unusual winter this year, usually when you get these snows like we've had in the last week, each storm suppresses further and further south here in New England. But Mother Nature didn't get that memo this year. This is the most intense parade of close together massive winter storms we have seen in our life. In case you're new here, it happened last in 1996, and before that in 1978, and those were back to back to back. But this year we're getting, if you go way back to Thanksgiving, we had those 4 Monday storms in a row, and then we had 2 that missed offshore last week, and then we had the Sunday storm, which was 2 days ago, and then a Wednesday storm, and then a Friday storm, and then maybe a Tuesday storm. So it's more like back to back to back to back to back storms, like we've never seen before. Once in a lifetime weather happens somewhere all the time. All right, so the footprints are this big. Is it possible that rabbits live down underneath my steps here? I'd like to think rabbits, because the alternative is not that good. All right, there's 2 size prints here. And you can see one goes off in that direction, the other, I think they go underground again over here somewhere. So that's at least the fun part of having snow like this. Oh, they can get under just about anywhere under there, right? So that's what T-Rex is all barking at. Got a lot of critters living back here near the worm farm. You know, I feed the birds. I cleaned that little grassy spot for you yesterday, Steve. You appreciate that? I bring the bird feed out and the bird seed, and so the birds seed goes down in there, and this wall, yeah, Roger can't put this up. Well, he had it put up, I don't know, probably 40 or 50 years ago. So it's due for an overhaul. We're all going to be due for an overhaul after this series of storms. I'm trying to keep up and not be too alarming here. The weather is fascinating, and there's nothing we can do about it. We're going to have to just bear the brunt of this storm, and another one, and another one. And I'm not sure where the heart of the cold is going to go. We keep hearing about the polar vortex, but they swoop in and then they swoop out really fast. I guess I can just show you the 850, because this really delineates the rain-snow lines nicely. The blue is snow, and the yellow is rain, and the purple is Arctic, and the sort of gray inside the purple is near record cold air. So when you're talking about near record cold air in January, that's pretty darn cold. But you notice it just comes down, one blast shoots into Texas, lifts up, and then kind of out. But here in New England, it looks like it's a little bit more purple later next week than this week. So will we be able to freeze the waters around here? I don't know. We're at the midpoint of winter. I think we might be able to do some ice skating in some of the ponds maybe next week, and there could be ice here on Hingham Bay and the Fall River before February 2nd. So some of our thickest ice is usually in February, and we've had several years, I don't know, about 10, 15 years ago, where we were getting it lasting into March. So we have short memories. Ice and snow still do exist. All right, go for a walk with T-Rex. Let's go to yesterday. All the rest of the video is going to be from yesterday. trying to find some things to track, appreciating the winter beauty, and just perplexed at someone that just showed up right down there. You can't even park your car near there, and walked into the water. That's our and more. Tomorrow morning is going to be challenging coming out here in the wind and rain, but maybe it'll be over. Maybe we'll be in a lull at that time. I appreciate all your comments. You ask me a question, I'll try and answer it best I can in the comments. Talk to you later. What do you think, Rex? We're going to go for a walk? He's pretty excited to go for a walk. He's just grabbing the leash. Who's going to walk who, Rex? Who's going to walk who? Where do you want to go? All right, we'll go out the door in the middle of the afternoon. Yeah, we go out the door for weather and more all the time. It's 34 degrees and snow is kind of melting, but it's also sublimating. It's going right from solid to a vapor. T-Rex, stop. I'm gonna close this door at 2:30 in the afternoon. So yeah, it just kind of evaporated. I'm not sure if they plowed. I don't think, well, maybe they did plow the roads last night, but it pretty much just melted off the sidewalk. Otherwise, I would have cleaned the sidewalk. I'm a good neighbor like that. One little patch of snow left on the roof. Beautiful sunshine. Be interesting to see with radiational cooling tonight how cold it gets. Last night got nowhere near as the guidance had. Guidance had us in the single numbers and teens, and it was more like 25 to 30 due to that other low that was off in the Midwest. But tonight, I think with a high pressure, we might be able to get down to single numbers and teens in a few spots. All right, let's go up the hill. See if we can track some animals, T-Rex. Not that way, this way. Man, it's just not even 3 o'clock, and like the sun's so close to the horizon. But the sun is going down later, day after day now. I think we're getting close to about 4:30. The thing is, the latest sunrises are still occurring at about 7:13. A few more days, and then the sunrises actually start getting later too. So the days are getting longer. Let's go find some tracks, T-Rex. Find some tracks. Looking for tracks, T-Rex tracks. Yeah, we're gonna have some water running down this hill, aren't we? The big question is how fast will it refreeze after the next rainstorm? Yep, they did plow yesterday. So our first plow of the season here. There was one pre-December, pre-Christmas, up the road. Yeah, there's a big frozen slush ball there, huh, T-Rex? Where are the tracks? I don't see any tracks yet. You got good traction for a 3-legged dog. Oh boy, I almost went down. These old Timberlands have no traction at all underneath them. Some paw prints. What do we got? Looks like a dog, but I don't know. Must be probably a coyote, I would guess. Because the dogs don't really run free around here. What do you think? Coyote? Long strides. Dug a little hole right here. Something very small with paws. Raccoon? With a long hop. What's a rabbit foot look like anyway? I guess it could be a rabbit. Someone's foraging for something down there. Big paw prints. And more foraging right there. Interaction with something small with something bigger here. We keep going. Are we going to find a coyote? Do we want to find a coyote? No, not really. Actually, I wouldn't mind seeing a coyote, just not with Rex. I would be picking him up and going the other way if we did encounter one, by the way. Hey, why am I not skiing? Well, there was a chance that we were going to go see Madonna tonight, but I guess I got out of that. And the fact that it looks like it's going to rain. I did a good amount of skiing in November and December. Get back in it next week, hopefully. Need one of these storms to go south. Buddy. Yesterday was perfect. If I had known it was going to snow that much yesterday in Vermont, we would have been there today. Except for that concert we had tickets to. Just thinking out loud here. And more, and more, and more, and more. Want to see Boston? Beantown. Looking over Quincy, Marymount, Howes Neck, Back Bay. Built in a swamp hundreds of years ago. I think those towers are embedded in swamp, maybe bedrock way down, I guess. T-Rex, where are you going? Off into the sunset. Alrighty then, there's our skiff sticking out of the water, and there is a man in the water. The dog, no, that's not a dog, it's a backpack. Yep, just kind of sitting there in the water, looking out, thinking to himself, is this as cold as it gets? T-Rex, there is a person in the water out there. You're looking the wrong way. It's that way. What do you see down there, T-Rex? Oh, just a man in the water. That's all. Taking his time. Kicking the sand off. Wringing himself off a little bit. Nice sunset. He can still see the sun. I can't see the sun. Oh, he brought a towel. That's good thinking. And then that skiff that we talk about all the time, sticking out of the water. Comes the ferry. For the record, it's about 32 degrees outside. And we have snow and ice on the ground. As the sun goes down over Boston, in between storms. We're in a parade of storms like we have not seen in our entire life. So why not just enjoy what we can while we can? You going back in, bro? And more and more and more. That water temperature is probably about 39 degrees. So if you add up the 39 degree air and the 39 degree air and 32 degree water, that's like 71 degrees combined. Beautiful. Okay, there's Hull. There's the Hull gut. No blizzards in the immediate forecast, but plenty of wind and rain, and it was nice to have snow on the ground for one day in a row. It's cold outside tonight. All right, talk to you later. No, seriously. He went in twice.